visibility around the event. So I know this is the builders call. Let me go in and disable, or if you can just a dinging, Leo, while I say hello to everybody and set you up. So yeah, Rick is doing a life and business planning clinic from 10 a.m. Pacific till 3 p.m. today. It starts in an hour. If you want to catch it virtually, we are live streaming it. So you can go to www.2023businessplanning.live. And once you register there, it's free. You'll get a confirmation that has a downloadable workbook, which is the workbook he'll be using in the class today. You can print that up. And then also the Zoom link for the live stream. So that is on the production side of the business. However, this call is our bi-monthly call on the builders side of the business. And I'm so excited. Well, first and foremost, to introduce and welcome Leo to the call today. Here's the bottom line. He leads by example. His organization's over 1,000 agents strong, and he is somebody that is every day working, building, growing, supporting people, and has developed a skill set through repetition, right? So this call, we're talking about skills, we're collaborating, and the beauty of it is those of you that haven't put in the time yet at the level that some of the other leaders have are here to be able to, like, from osmosis, learn and accelerate your learning curve as you go out and do. Now, nothing is going to replace doing, because you will not develop the skills until you personally do. However, we're here to do that in a team environment and collaborate. So Leo, thank you so much for who you are as a leader, as a man, as a friend, and somebody that I'm so grateful to be in life and partnership with. And I'm going to pass the call to you today to lead and facilitate a very lively conversation, which I'm sure will be packed with value. And again, invite all of you to really jump in and engage. The more that you're part of the conversation, the more value comes out, right? Through that collaboration and engagement. So we're grateful for each and every one of you, and make it an amazing day, everyone. I'm going to go in and finish getting set up, and we'll see you soon.
You got it, Casey. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Grateful to be in business.
Would you hit record? Because, oh no, we're recording already. We're all good.
Yeah, we're recording. Yeah,
okay,
we're
cool.
totally recording. Thank
all right.
you. All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
You got it. All right. All right. Well, good morning. Good morning. A lot of familiar faces in here. Good to see all of you. Erica, Tara, Katie, Joseph, Paula, Scott, MC, Dwyer, Michelle, Renee, Rhonda, Liliana, and then iPhone. Hello there to all of you. Cindy, how you doing, my friend? Good to see all of you. So if you guys are probably wondering, why am I in my mobile office? Because I am in my mobile office right now. I am sitting outside of a broker that I'm about to meet with 20 agents. So I got a call yesterday from, Miss Casey Council, and she says, Leo, I need your help. I have this conversation going on. And I said, when Casey calls, I'm like, okay, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to be there. And I noticed that my meeting was an hour away from my home. So I had to get up an hour earlier to make it to this conversation, to be here fully present with all of you and not have to worry about traffic. So my intention today is to bring a lot of value to really, we're talking specifically about building an organization. My organization is now approaching 2,000 agents. In the last 30 days, we've grown by 140 awesome professionals, and it's getting to the point where it's compounding and growing faster than I expected it. And I think it has to do, obviously, with the amazing individuals that are part of our life and in the community that we built. So I would like to see if there's anything that anybody wants to me specifically share. If you have a question, if there's something that is, hey, you know what, I would like to know how to do this, or I'm unclear about this part of agent attraction. I'm an open book. I would love to contribute to the conversation as much as I can. So I just kind of want to get a gauge of what topic I can cover. I do have a ton of ideas, so I can talk for an hour if you guys don't say anything, but I would like to hear directly from you guys if there's anything I can share. This would be the collaboration part.
Leo.
Sup, Cindy?
Leo, hey, how are ya?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Doing great.
I'm so grateful for you, by the way.
Grateful for you.
So I have been getting lately like just so frustrated with, objections and seed planting. And I know it's a long game. It's not a short game. But when you start to get down on yourself and, it's like, no, 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 no. Or, other people beat you out that you've been working on and they decide to go, with another sponsor. Like, how do you hype yourself back up, basically?
You call me, Cindy.
Great. Yeah.
That's
Call
true.
Will. Get hyped up, right? For sure. No, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up, Cindy. And I'll definitely will address that for sure. Thank you for being here as well. I know that is sometimes, it's happened to me, by the way. So it's not something that is just specific to you, right? And I'll definitely give you some guidance and some insight on how to move past that in a big way. So anything else that is important, that is right there, that I was like, you know what, if I knew this or how to break through this would cause a major shift in my growth and development. The Reds here.
Hi, Leo. This is Paula.
Hi, Paula.
Hey, hello. Could you address like new agents trying to get people signed on? Because I'm fairly new, so I don't really have a lot of agents that I can actually reach out to and say, that I kind of work within a transaction. I've worked with just a few, but I'm not like a seasoned agent. So that would definitely help me in my process.
Okay, perfect. That sounds awesome. Thank you for sharing. I'll definitely will give you some pointers on that specific topic as well. Cool.
Good morning, Leo. This is MC.
Hi, MC. How's it going?
It's great. Thanks for helping out today. I'm excited to hear you. I actually have only approached one or two people. I just feel awkward knowing where to begin, because I feel like so many people have just this sort of multi-level marketing perception about EXP, and I don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
Can I answer this,
Perfect.
Leo?
Well, thank you.
Can
And we're gonna
I answer a lot of their questions, Leo.
I know, right? Like you got them all because you dealt with this. So yeah, let's just capture all of the questions, and I'll for sure. I think you can pick that one up, but we definitely capture that. I know, William, you're gonna help me out to get that question. But anything else that anybody has right there in front of you that is important as well.
Good morning, Leo. It's
Hello.
Michelle
Good morning.
Russell. How are you? I was just curious. So
I'm
you
doing
picked
great.
up.
How you doing?
I'm good. You picked up 150 agents. So are you reaching outside of your marketplace? Where are you reaching that many people? I don't know if you picked up an office, or I was just curious. For instance, my sponsor is from the East Coast. So, we can pick up people from all over. It doesn't need to be just in our immediate area.
Absolutely. That's a great question. And I'll definitely address that. And a couple of the key reasons why that's happening, it's two amazing leaders are actually on this call. So you'll get to hear my answer regarding that. But thank you for asking that question. Anyone else that has anything? All right.
Leo, what do you do every day to re-recruit yourself?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Mindset? What do we do? What do I do to recruit myself? Cool. Awesome. And Will, I think, why don't you kick us off with that answer, brother? I know, we had a question about, the multi-level conversation. So guys, this is Will Higgins as well. He's one of our business partners on the Dream Chaser movement with Joseph Trujillo. He's done a phenomenal job in 1 year, has surpassed 140, 150 agents. I lost count of where you're at, but he's crushed it, and he's a triple threat. He is influential, he's attracting, and he's also just an icon, right? So he's doing it all. So I think what better person to answer that question, man? So go for it.
Yeah, so I think the first thing, I think it trumps and it answers all that other stuff, is that you just got to be all in. Like you got to be all in. If you want to recruit, you got to be all in on everything. So you got to know about the stock. You got to be participating in the stock. You got to be participating in rev share. You got to be participating in all the things on workplace. I think you just have to be all in, and people see that you're all in. And I think that gets away, that gets rid of a bunch of the objections, but also with some of the objections and the multi-level marketing and all that other stuff, it's how you phrase things, but also, are you talking to the right people? Like I broke down why I was interested in EXP and why I saw it immediately was because I'm a person that, first of all, I came from a different business line before this, but I think like an entrepreneur, and also I was looking for passive income. So when you think about rev share as cash flow, I think that speaks to a different person. And I think that's a different message. And if the person is worried about multi-level marketing, that may not be the right person. Because if they take a look, like at this conference, somebody said it pays to pay attention. But if you pay attention to all of the biggest agents, the top producers that are coming here, so you're saying you're accusing that person of being in multi-level marketing, you're accusing that person of being a fraud, right? So I would really look at the people I'm talking to, and if you cannot phrase it a different way and they still don't get it, that may not be the person for this opportunity.
Could I add to that,
Yeah.
Will and
Thank you
Leo?
for sharing.
Will and Leo,
Mr.
can I add
Joseph
to that?
Trujillo, Mr. Four-time icon. What's up?
What's
Yes, sir.
poppin', guys?
Go
I
for it.
apologize.
We can hear you loud
I
and clear.
apologize. Okay, cool. I apologize. I'm not on video. I'm training for this little triathlon here, but whoever asked that question, if you dig deep into the root of the objection, there's a strong chance that you may even believe that statement to be true. Okay. I say that because I questioned that exact statement before I came onto EXP. And I'll share with you how I was able to break out of that mindset, like Will was talking about. Was I simply had a conversation with one of my best friends who's a senior executive at a big MLM life insurance group. And when I shared the model with him, he changed my whole perspective on it by simply acknowledging and stating to me that he's like, hey, Joe, if this exists in real estate, this is probably one of the most opportunistic moments in real estate, because here's the deal. We're not selling vitamins. We're not selling trinkets. We're not selling a product. We're in a business that drives, the US economy to a certain degree. So you have to think about it in a different frame, along with the ownership value behind revenue sharing, right? So if you take those two components, you can have a big shift in how you perceive it, and you'll be able to have conversations more fluidly regarding that objection.
Yep. Also,
Yeah, very well said.
Can I add to that? Revenue share, if you look at it, it's the same thing that happens at every other brand, but they call it something else. They call it a franchise fee, right? And that franchise fee is created every time a home is sold. Revenue is created, and that goes back to Gary Keller, 6%, right? Coldwell Banker, whatever brand it is, they just call it a different name.
Yep.
Now,
All right,
now
cool,
that you guys
guys.
mentioned that, I have a question. I have an agent, she's with Keller, that I've been, working on. And when I brought up the revenue share portion, she had mentioned, oh, we have that too. It's just called market share. And I wanted to I was like, well, I think it's completely different. And I wanted to kind of tell her what it was without insulting her, but I just kind of left it there at that moment because I just didn't even know how to attack that without saying
Right.
ours is better.
For sure.
It's definitely not that.
For sure.
So where
Cool.
would you go from
Thank you,
there?
Lily. Yeah. I'll definitely tell you how to go about that. But one of the things I'll start off with is this. I saw a post from a good friend this morning, and I wanted to share with all of you because if you truly are committed to growing an organization and really, getting serious about this, number one, you really want to set up a goal, right? What is it that you want to cash flow on a monthly basis, what, and get clear of what you want to do. Like, and you may not want to play at, there's different people that are playing at different levels. So just get clear at what level you're willing to play it at, and reverse engineer that goal, right? Maybe it's, an extra $1,000 a month. Maybe it's an extra $5,000 a month. Maybe it's an extra 10, 20, whatever that is for you. Get clear what that is first, and then reverse engineer. That way you understand how many conversations you need to have, and then you can create your calendar, and then bring your integrity to that, and literally just execute on that and cut out all the noise. A lot of different people are going to be playing again at a different level. Don't get intertwined, with different people that are playing at different levels. Understand what game you're playing, and that comes directly from the game. Again, your game plan, right? So I want you guys to get really clear about that. And something for me that like I said, a friend posted this morning, and I wanted to read to you guys. It made a big difference. It said Warren Buffett invested full time in the stock market for 9 years before he saw his first million. Okay, so I don't think anybody's been doing EXP. I'm assuming, but I don't think anybody has done that just yet. I haven't. I've only been at EXP for 4 years. So the moral of the story is, we got to play the long game. This is a relationship building business, as we are already aware, right? We're all real estate professionals. How do we grow our business? We do that by having great partnerships and building great relationships and bringing value. When we have a sales business, we're representing buyers and sellers. That's what we're doing. And that's exactly what we're doing with Revenue Share, by the way. With Revenue Share, we're bringing value and we're building relationships. And it's a constant loop of those two things. And we also have to be very unattached to the results that we're getting in the beginning. We have to be intentional where we're going, right? If that's 100, 200, 1,000, 10,000 or agent organization, whatever that is for you, getting extremely clear about that, but understanding whatever you're moving through at this moment in time is part of that process. And if you are moving through challenging and difficult times through building this organization, it's only because you have a massive goal, right? I want you to get connected to that as well. You wouldn't have a breakdown or an issue about it, right? And I know that, Cindy, you mentioned that earlier, right? Like, how do you deal with it when you have people do this and that? Well, you're playing the game at the rate that you want to play it, and you're playing it at a higher level than most people, right? If you were playing the game in a much more casual way, that wouldn't even be coming up in your mind. You would be like, totally cool. Let me go sell another house, right? And this conversation today is obviously not about that, but you really got to get clear about that when whatever material is showing up, it's showing up there for you to develop yourself as a leader. I've been through a lot of ups and downs through this journey, right? I was challenged a lot, with a lot of the objections that you guys mentioned, the MLM thing, and, not talking to people and then telling me that this is a blah, 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 right? But obviously, we already understand that we're a real estate company. Last year we did 400 to 54,000 transactions. And the thing is that what I understood, because I started doing this in the beginning, I would get triggered and then I would get kind of upset a little bit and then I would be stuck. But what I realized now, right, being here for 4 years, is that I was missing the point. I wasn't listening to the prospect. I wasn't listening to the agent, and I wasn't asking them enough questions. That's why I started off this meeting with questions. I wanted to see where you guys were at. And that's what I do every single time that I get on a call with an agent. I'm talking about them. It's most important to them. Where do they want to be in the next year? What do they want to be in the next 5 years? And when they tell me their vision, what I am doing is that I am seeking to how I can bring them value. If it's production, if it's social media, if it's growing their team, if it's growing their brokerage, whatever that is, I am looking for those nuggets. When they give me those nuggets, I don't go into like, we got rev share. We got rev share. I'm not going to skip, I'm not going to do that. But one of the things that I think I've done extremely well, which I want to encourage you all to do, is that when they give you the golden nuggets, then go to addressing the golden nuggets and demonstrate how you're going to get them to solve their problems in their business. Because between all of us, there's not one problem that any realtor is facing that we all can't collectively contribute into. There's somebody within the organization, it's so massive now, that somebody is dealing exactly with whatever the person is dealing with, and they can cause a breakthrough by making a connection. So one of the things that I do is that as soon as somebody gives you their golden nuggets, hey, these are the things that I really want to focus on. Great. What kind of questions do you have for me? And I understand then what questions do they have about the model, right? First, I capture their vision, and then I capture their questions. Once I capture the vision and the questions, it's very simple to move in the conversation because I'm speaking directly to what is important to them, and I'm addressing their questions directly to what they just asked me about. They're telling me what they want, right? And in the conversation, one of the things that I'm also been getting extremely great at is that when I'm in conversation, if that person is not saying, hey, I'm ready to move forward right now, that means that at that point, you need to move them forward with another individual, another leader in your organization for them to articulate the value proposition about EXP. Your third party validation calls. You need to move them into another conversation. But this is the mistake that I did, and I see a lot of people do. They get somebody really excited. They give you all of the keys to the kingdom, basically. And then what you do is that you rush it and you're like, let's get to the finish line real quick. Right? Has anybody ever been like, if you guys ever gotten anybody that says, yeah, you know what, I'm really interested, I do want to move forward, and they kind of just ghost you, right? Has that happened? Because that happened to me in the beginning, right? There you go, it's happened. So what I found out that I was doing incorrectly was that as soon as they told me they were excited, I was like, all right, cool, let's go to the finish line. And instead of me just assuming that they're going to go to the finish line, what I am now doing is that as soon as they tell me, yeah, I'm moving over to the finish line, great. Sounds good. By what time are we going to get the application in? Oh, we're going to get it in here by 5 o'clock. Great. Sounds good. I want to make sure that I get, with the right department so we can do onboarding. So I'm going to connect with you by 5 o'clock. Once 5 o'clock comes and that application is not in, my next message to that person in that call is, hey, Scott, man, I just wanted to check in with you, brother. I know that you probably got caught up in other things and you didn't get the application in, but you know what, man, I want to apologize because I forgot, man. I wanted to introduce you to somebody amazing, and I forgot to introduce you to my buddy Rick. My buddy Rick is actually in Northern California. He's been in the business over 40 years. He is a national real estate coach, and I want to get you in front of him because I think he could make a big difference for you and your business, specifically what you're referring to about your team building. So I'm not going to go, where's the application at? I'm not going to hey, we didn't get the application in. I'm not going to go straight to that. I am going to go, let me demonstrate more value. Because if that person wasn't inspired to take their time, because when somebody's inspired, you will move mountains to get things done, right? So that's the thing, is that if they're not acting, is that they're missing something. So when you get that resistance or that pushback or that person is not ready to move forward, you want to include them in another conversation and keep moving them down as many conversations as you can and get them to events, get them to Zoom calls that bring them value. Right? Give them a guest pass, right? Showcase the tools and the systems that we have. Also understand, guys, how to use KV Core. That's a system that we use. Understand the basics. You don't have to master it, but understand the basics. That way, when you're talking to an agent, everybody that you're talking to is interested in doing more production for the most part and growing their business. They're not going to be necessarily interested in the revenue share or conversation. You guys are here. Right? Out of thousands and thousands of people, you guys are the only ones that are here. Not a lot of people are interested in this conversation, right? So don't lead with that conversation. Lead with value, their production, what it's going to mean for their life, right? The longevity of their business, but don't lead with revenue share. I like to call, and when I speak to agents about EXP, I'm always telling them like, hey, you know what? One of the great things that we have is the ownership side. The ownership is a huge deal, right? With the stock. Right. In addition to you doing your production like you normally would at any other brokerage, we're going to gift you, $16,000 plus in in stock in this company. Or if they're not there, you know, I'm going to show them how we're going to help them to get there. So those are the things that you really want to get as you're playing this long-term game. Like I mentioned, you're playing the game at the rate that you want to play it in, but you really want to listen more than you speak in the conversations. If you're finding resistance, if people are saying that this is a multi-level marketing company, well, you're probably saying things that are making it multi-level marketing material, right? Like you're giving them the material, right? You're selling them. As soon as you get an objection like that, you went into sell mode versus connect mode, and you need to connect, right? You got to go back to connecting, right? Those are the key reasons. And when somebody says, "Hey, is this sounds like a multi-level marketing company?" And actually, it's interesting you say that. We're actually a real estate company first and foremost. We just happen to have a 7-level model. I'm pretty sure you've heard of Keller Williams, right? They do have a 7-level model as well. But their 7-level model, it's called profit share. We're based on revenue. By the way, what was it about, you know, the thing that you saw here in the model that really interested you to come to this conversation? So you're going to answer the question and you're going to pivot to a question. The thing is that most of you, when somebody asks an objection, you freeze and you try to justify it and you try to explain it. You just need to isolate it by acknowledging the fact that they just said that, and then pivot by asking a question about them and their business. That's where you want to go in the conversation. So I want you guys to practice that. Acknowledge and pivot, okay? Acknowledge their concern and pivot to a question. Acknowledge their concern and pivot to the question. So next time that you're like, you're stuck, remember, acknowledge their concern and pivot to a question. Acknowledge their concern and pivot to a question. That's the most important part. You got to keep the conversation going. They are testing you. They are testing you on how you articulate and answer their questions. If you are breaking down in front of them about their questions, they're going to say like, no, this is weird. And they think this is weird because you're being weird, not because the company's weird, right? They're going to feel a weird energy if you are projecting weird vibes. Like, so don't be weird, right? And be comfortable and be fluid and be authentic and be yourself and be spontaneous and be fun, right? And be energetic. People are going to move at your tempo. That's what we really want to do. I know that somebody asked about the question about, you know, what happens if you don't have enough people to talk, or don't know who to speak to. You know, we all know loans, title offices, escrow companies, you know, that's what we pivot to. If you don't have a large list of agents, you would go to the vendors that you currently know and talk to them about referring you some people that they know, that you're looking for other people, right? Who do you know besides me that's an awesome real estate professional? That's a question to ask one of your vendors. Who do you know besides me that's an awesome real estate professional? And us realtors, by the way, are very, very easy to find, right? So I would say pivot to social media, start to follow them, and friend request them on Instagram and on Facebook, and connect them, start to invite them to the events, right? But understand that revenue share and growing in revenue share organization, it's a relationship building business. Over time, you will develop a pipeline. Right now, like I mentioned earlier in this call, yes, I've had north of 140 people join in the last 30 days, but that is only because of the compound effect of what I've done. It's not because of what I'm doing in the last 30 days. It's what I've been doing for 4 years. So what I want you guys to think about is that you guys need to plant seeds every single day. You get into dialogue and start to build relationships, because the more relationships you could build, the greater the outcome and the results that you're going to achieve. But it's all directly connected to the relationships you build. And then when you inspire somebody to come to the company and you have a leader in front of you, make sure you spend time, energy with those leaders and pour into them, right? A couple of my leaders are here: Cindy, Joseph, Will, right? These guys are leaders. They've been here. All of these guys account to more than half of my organization right here, right? So we got to pour into the people that are going to go out there and demonstrate our collaboration. That's another thing I will say, is that don't talk about collaboration, demonstrate collaboration. right? In the conversation you're having with your prospects, you can tell them how collaborative this organization is, but if they're only talking to you and you're trying to pitch them EXP, do you think that they're going to get, hey, this is really collaborative? No, you got to demonstrate to them the collaboration. Well, that's going to come from the third-party validation calls. Look, we just got somebody else that's amazing. You got somebody else that's amazing. Wow, this is a community that collaborates, right? So you want to demonstrate all of the things. You can say all these beautiful things about the company, but if they cannot feel it, if they can't get connected to the reality of it, they won't get connected to the vision. So I know that was one of the questions, and I know that somebody else, actually, Cindy, you asked about the sponsorship. What happens when people partner up with other people, right? One of the things that I've done, right, because it does hurt, I've been there myself. One of the things that I do is I go back to the prospect and I ask them, like, hey, what was it about this other person that you really liked? Like, how did you make a decision to move forward? And they'll tell you what happened, right? They might have said something. They just said something that you didn't say, and they said, no, this person didn't feel a certain way, and boom, now they're going in that direction. So I acknowledge that it's uncomfortable. I acknowledge that it's not easy to deal with. Over time, you will move forward and you'll understand that people are going to align and land where they need to land in the line, right? Like, that's just going to happen. So what I would say is that one of the things that helps me to get really clear and get back on track is the fact that I am hungry. My vision is exciting to me every single day. It's not dependent on one person. So you need to get back connected to the vision that you created and get back to what excited you in the beginning of the partnership with EXP, right? Because I'm pretty sure everybody that's in this conversation, you guys are probably, at least for me, when I discovered revenue share and I saw what I could do, I couldn't go to sleep for 2 days. I was so inspired. I was so motivated. I was like, are you kidding me? I just discovered like the color blue, like this, or like I just discovered something, like something new, right? And that energy is something that I try to go back to and remind myself, like, yes, that possibility, that idea, that vision still lives within myself. So don't allow one person and one conversation to diminish vision, because you're going to be tested, right? God, the universe, whatever you believe in, you will be tested throughout your journey. And through your journey, you will figure out, okay, am I really serious and committed to the vision? Am I not seriously committed to the vision, right? It's going to happen. But the way we avoid those things to happen, right, less and less, because it's happening a little bit less and less, I found out it was more about, and I keep saying this, it's about building the relationship and bringing value, building the relationship and bringing value, listening to them and what's important to them, having a servant's mindset, a servant leader. Because if you make it about, like, this is not your show. This is not my show. This is not Leo Robles' show. This is not Leo Robles' organization. No, this is about everyone else. So one of the things that I will tell you to do is that you got to develop yourself. You got to put yourself into some training where you can get yourself out of the way. That way you can actually be a contribution to other people around you. If you are just focused on yourself and what's in it for you and what is going to happen with your life and your revenue share, that you're only going to grow to a certain extent. It's about getting yourself out of the way, right? When somebody said something negative to me or an objection that triggers me, and then I remember, I'm like, wait, I'm making it about me, and it's not even about me. I need to go back to articulating the value proposition in a slightly different way, and I have fun with it. I would invite you to have fun with it as well, right? Have fun with it. Be a little bit more graceful with yourself. Be forgiving of yourself, right? I definitely would encourage you to do that, because if you're not forgiving yourself, if you're not being graceful with yourself, this is going to be a painful process. You got to be unattached with this process as well, as hard as that sounds, right? But I want you to stay focused and committed to where you're going, but be unattached in how you get there, because you're constantly being guided. You're constantly being moved in the direction of where you need to get to. And if you are able to stay focused on where you are going, sometimes the things that don't work out are actually not working out. So things that you really want actually work out, right? They're just moving them out of the way. You're moving them out of the way. Those are the things that I've discovered, at least. right? So I'm just telling you a little bit of what has worked for me, but it really comes down to your mindset and getting yourself out of the way. It really does. Because at the end of the day, when you guys get off of the Zoom call today, you're going to go back to your desk, you're going to go back to your calls, and you're going to say, like, now what? What do I do? Right? Well, I want you to just go out there and see how you can be of. That's literally it. If you lead and you give and you give and you give and you give, you eventually will come to a point where you're going to start to attract people, because you start to become attractive. People become attractive and become magnetic when people give, people contribute, right? When you are a taker and you're focusing on what you're going to get constantly, that is a different type of energy, not attractive energy. So you really got to get yourself down. You need to get it out of your way. One of the courses that I would recommend is it's called Landmark Education. That course for me has made a massive difference in my life. All right, so Landmark is a great course to take. I know that Casey has shared, I think there's another program that's similar to Landmark. Like, whatever you do, just do something to get yourself out of the way. Because look, I'm preaching to the choir. You guys are already geniuses. You guys already have all the tools, all of the answers, all of the resources, the relationships. You guys already have it. So it's just about getting out of the way, what's in the way of you being a contributor, a giver, a servant leader. That's all it's all about. And if you can keep that mindset continuously, then you will find a day where you're going to have a compound effect of abundance because you poured so much into it. But the thing is that you got to get clear as well that it's not going to be an overnight thing. Whatever results are showing up right now, it's not a reflection of what you did last 30 days. It's whatever you did a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's a continuous act, right? And how do you actually how do you actually get that into your calendar? Well, you guys make a decision based on your goal, right? Are you guys going to take revenue share and make that a commitment daily? Are you going to make that a commitment once a week? Whatever that is, just do it, right? There's no right or wrong in this equation, right? It's whatever is aligned with your goals, wherever you want to go. And again, understand that people, when you're talking to them, they're not interested in recruiting agents. Don't give them more work. Realtors are trying to figure out how to work less. So when we speak to them about additional opportunities, what they're thinking in their brain is like, oh man, I got to memorize a presentation. I got to get excited like this guy. I got to go out and talk to people. Like, they're thinking it's more work. So we also have to make it appear like this is an easy, casual conversation. If we make it look really hard, then people are like, that is way too hard. I don't want to do that, right? So that might be also why some people might be not interested in the opportunity. You're making it look really hard, right, when you're talking to them. So you have to come from a place of like, you're really comfortable, and it's only going to come from you having really bad conversations, by the way. I had really bad conversations in the beginning that got me to the point where I can have really good conversations, but I said things out of place, out of context. I've messed up some big recruiting meetings in the very early stages, right? So you have to be willing to do something badly to become great at it. That is the moral of the story as well. So I think I kind of addressed most of the questions that we had here, but understand, one thing that I do on all of my recruiting meetings as well, guys, is that I show them the EXP world. Like, because a lot of people want support. Everybody wants support. Like, I want to be able to get a hold of somebody. So what I do on Zoom, I open up my EXP world, and then I walk into and I tell them, like, look, this is my avatar, and I just walk with it. I said, this is how you can get a hold of people all over the world, accounting, broker support, this. I said, by the way, so look how fast we can get in front of somebody amazing. I click on the agent services, I take a ticket, and once I take a ticket, within like 30 seconds to a minute, they call me up, I get in front of somebody, and I tell them like, hey, thank you so much for calling me in 30 seconds. I said, I have a friend that I'm showing the company to. Can you tell them what you do here in your department? And then they tell them, oh yeah, thank you for coming in. We do da-da-da-da-da. Like they go into their, and then they end up saying all those things. And then when I'm done with that conversation, I mute it. And they're like, oh my God, that was incredible. I can't believe you just got in front of somebody like that fast. right? So demonstrate the EXP world. That is one of the key weapons that we have in the industry that can't be replicated, right? There's a lot of other models out there that are trying to replicate our company now, right? All of those companies that, and it's happening, like all of the companies that were talking so much about our model, they're now understanding that if they don't have a revenue model, they're losing the game. So they're duplicating our revenue share model, but they think we're winning because of the revenue share model, and that we're not winning because of the revenue share model. We are winning because we're focusing on bringing value to the real estate agents in the community and focusing on helping them to grow their businesses. The revenue share model is just a cherry on top, which 10% or less of us actually take advantage of, right? So they're going to copy a lot of the things that we have, but what they can't copy is the culture that we've created, the purpose that we drive in, and also that platform called Virbela that I just named. That is a secret weapon of ours. That is a huge tool, right? And maybe you guys don't use it. I do. I use it every day. People that already know me, they're like, "What's up, Leo? How you doing?" I'm talking, I'm like, "Hey, good to see you, my friend." Like, I've literally built up a relationships with everybody in agent onboarding because I see them almost every single day, right? And one of the things that I will tell you is that you got to continue to watch videos on revenue share. Listen to the greats like Gene Frederick, Brent Gove, Rob Flick. Listen to their stories and internalize their stories. And then also, if you guys have not done this, which is a non-negotiable for anybody I coach, is I won't move to any other conversation unless they do the wealth chart. The wealth chart. The wealth chart. The wealth chart. It's a little one pager that Rob Flick created. You guys can find his video on YouTube. It's called Rob Flick Wealth Chart. And you got to fill out the wealth chart, write it down with your own hands, right? Like write down the names of the people, because when you're building an organization, you're trying to focus and laser focus on the top 25 people that that you can be in business with, that if they were with you, they can change everything. That's really what you want to do. So I'm going to pause. And I do have like another 5 minutes because I am sitting outside of my meeting. I'm going to be meeting a broker here shortly. And I want to make sure that I've addressed all your questions. Hopefully I have. And if there's anything else that has came forward, or any ahas or anything you want to share, this would be your moment to do so. Hope I didn't bore you guys with this.
Oh, no, I've been taking notes. Thanks so much. I wondered if you could put the wealth chart in the group chat, because we're having a little bit of audio problems. So I don't know exactly who did it.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Put it in right now. Let me go ahead and find it. 1 second. And I'll drop it in. This is a training by Rob Flick, and I highly encourage you guys to do this. Wealth chart training. Okay. All right, cool. Anything else, guys?
You mentioned, Virbela. Okay, somebody just responded to me. Thank you.
Yep, Virbela. Yeah, that's our EXP world. It is awesome.
Great. I didn't realize that's what it was called, but thank you for that, MC.
Leo.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So you said, what else in terms of being all in? Like I said, I'm trying to be like, call me Mr. Kool-Aid, because I am literally all the way in. So what else am I missing? Wealth chart, check. That's me, right? Every day.
Yep. You how many no's are you getting on a daily basis?
2 to 3.
Yeah, get 10.
Okay.
I would go to 10 no's a day, right? Like you want to get more no's. You guys are gonna get no's, right? And it doesn't mean, by the way, it's no forever. I've gotten so many no's, right? And it's happened to me.
I was a no
at this point.
I was
right?
a no.
You were a no.
I was a
you
no.
Were a no.
And I came back. Nobody called me. I called them and said, I'm in.
Yeah. Will was a hard no. He was like, nope, not interested. I'm speaking at Keller Williams, and I'm clicking with me and not doing it. He was a no. Yeah.
Leo.
absolutely. So get more no's. And it's yeah,
Leo
go
and
for it.
Will, I also was a hard no for about 4 years, and I'm here now and I'm thrilled to be here. It's only been 90 days and the overwhelm is over. It's time to rock. So thank you
Yeah.
for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you for confirming that, right? Everybody was a no. Everybody was a no.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Hey, this is
Hey,
Anthony.
Katie Green over here in Chico, California. I would love any of your referrals if you need an agent in Northern California.
I'm in Chino.
But you're in Chino, I'm in Chico. People often like the sales calls always are like, oh, you're in Chino. I'm like, so different.
Yeah,
Just so I am a brand
absolutely.
new newbie, I'm about a week old here. And I have not done my social media, reels, Instagram, stories, or anything and announce that I am an EXP agent now. So I was hoping if everybody could give me a 1-word answer to this. Why did you join EXP? If we could just shout it out all real quick, because I just want 5 top reasons why everyone should be at EXP.
Collaboration.
Training,
Pain.
leadership,
Technology.
Mhm. Community. I don't know if somebody said that, but community,
Culture.
culture.
The training opportunities are legendary.
Legendary. Ooh, can't
Yeah.
wait.
8 hours a week. Yep. 80 hours a week, guys. Cool. Awesome. Anything else? Anything else from anybody else? I am gonna have to bounce off because I need to make sure that I'm at the right building. I'm meeting this broker here for the first time. So I have like another minute or two. Anything else that I can contribute here in the last 2 minutes?
Hey, this is Anthony in New York.
Or I can also
Quick question.
Anthony.
Hey, quick question. Do you tailor your message based on the brokerage that someone is in? For example, a franchise brokerage as opposed to like a Compass or a Douglas Elliman that's not a franchise?
Yeah. And it's really, you really want to have an understanding, right? And research the different models, like understand the Keller model, the Compasses of the world, but it's really, my conversations each time are very tailored to listening and asking with their vision. Because one of the things that I've learned is not to assume that somebody wants something. So I've learned that the hard way. You know, I kind of thought that they wanted something because of the brokerage they were part of, and then I hadn't even asked them the question. So I would just say that whoever you're meeting, just get really in tune and ask them a lot of questions of where they want to be, where they want to go. Make your conversation very conversational, right? But like allow them to speak more, and they're going to give you all of the keys of what their vision is. And you really want to get that why. Why are they doing what they're doing every day? Yeah, great question. Cool. But go out there and get some more no's, guys. Get excited about those no's, right? Get excited about that. You already, I love what Gene said. He's like, Adam, hello, right? Gene Fedrick, with most of you guys probably know who he is, or you probably don't. Watch his videos as well. He's amazing. But he said that. He's like, you already had him at hello. He's like, you just gotta call, you just gotta reach out, and you're gonna understand what you're gonna need to say, because that's what we do. So guys, I gotta run. My internet is unstable, but thank you so much for spending this morning with me. I really appreciate all of you. Good luck, and have an extraordinary rest of your day.
You too, Leo.
Thank you.